What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, trying to make sense out of nonsense. Now, last night we were talking about some of the usual suspects in the Democratic Party. And one of them was Miss Omar, Ilhan Omar, the Muslim lady that now is in Congress. And I've been observing her behavior. And the Democrats got a little problem right now because this woman has shown bias towards Jews, not only recently, but down through her little history, just throwing stuff out there on Twitter and things like that to shows that she got a problem towards the Jews. Now, here's my thing. First of all, if you're a public servant and you dislike a group of people based off of just maybe their nationality or your religious beliefs or whatever, you might want to stop tweeting. Okay, you might want to make sure you keep your mouth shut because there's a lot of people in America that might fall into that category. Plus, if you are a part of a certain party, now that party has to run interference for your big chaps. And so she decides to make all types of accusations. Now, they want to make excuses for her. She's a freshman. So what? She's a grown woman that knows better. And she's already made some controversial statements talking about Lindsey Graham has been compromised by Trump when they pressed her on it. How do you know that? Nah, it's just a gut feeling. It's obvious because he's changed his position in the last year. It's not a good reason. She popped off at the mouth about the boys, the Catholic school boys, just trashed them. Nothing happened to her. I mean, she's not retracting her statements, none of that stuff. She's made anti-Semitic statements for quite some time, here and there, insertions, okay? And then, of course, she has the heat on her for the latest ones that she just said. And then yesterday, she's questioning somebody on foreign affairs. Now, remember, she's on the Foreign Affairs Committee, okay? This is the problem I have with this, because I got a gut feeling that her positions are not solely based off of policies, but instead ideology or religion. Okay, and see, as a Christian myself, I gotta be honest with myself. There are gonna be some things that I know I'm gonna be biased about, not based off of my logic, but based off of my spiritual beliefs. So therefore, if I know I'm on a committee to where my spiritual beliefs is going to bump up or compromise me on that committee to be subjectively, I probably shouldn't be on the committee. If I get on a committee that's saying, all right, this committee is how we can, create ways for transgenders and gays to get married in the church. And I say, well, I don't believe that should take place in the church, or a church shouldn't have to be made to make that decision. Well, my opinion wouldn't be based off of just some random bias. It would be based off of my biblical beliefs. So I probably shouldn't be on that committee. And the same thing with her. I got a gut feeling some of her attacks, attitude, things like that are personal. Meaning, it's very hard to believe that when you are a part of a religious belief that is very fundamental, that you can lay all that aside and embrace all of the Western cultures, policies, fairness, equality, all of that stuff, without subconsciously allowing your spiritual beliefs to compromise you when it comes to that. Especially when you are Muslim and the Jews, they've been bumping heads like cats and dogs for centuries. So, can you really be non-biased when you're sitting on that chair, that board? Could you really be non-biased? So, here's her attitude yesterday, going in on somebody who's working in the Trump campaign.
Holding information from Congress regarding your involvement in the Iran-Contra affair, for which you were later pardoned by President George H.W. Bush. I fail to understand why members of this committee or the American people should find any testimony that you give today to be truthful.
Okay. Now, they're talking about what's going on right now in Guatemala, okay? And she brings up Iran, something that took place many, many years ago. Now, Iran is a Muslim country, And she goes straight in on Iran. And I'm thinking, okay, wait, what is she backdating? I mean, what is she talking about? She trying to get to what is our involvement in Guatemala? Is that what she's saying? Or is she saying that this is my opportunity to expose all of the fallacies and the things that you all have done to Muslim countries, and I'm just going to use that time, my platform, to attack you for that, instead of really getting to the root of what's going on in Guatemala? I got a gut feeling it's personal, and watch how she responds to this guy.
Respond to that.
It wasn't a question.
On February,
that was not a question. I reserve the right to my time.
It is not right.
That was not a question.
Committee can attack
On February 8th,
who is not permitted to reply.
That was not a question. Thank you for your participation.
Now,
February 8th,
is this the type of person that you want on the Foreign Relations Committee, who is badgering this guy on something that is unrelated to the current events that's going on? You got a gut feeling that she might have went back to the whole Iran situation because there's some personal affections towards that country or the people, which, you know, if we did dirt, we did dirt. But right now, you coming in right now, we got some problems going on in Guatemala, and I'm thinking, can you fairly and professionally approach these problems if you're holding on to some animosity towards something else? That would be like me moving to a Muslim country, and they have somehow attacked a village of Christians in another country, and that was years ago. Now, I might still feel some way about that. So to get on a committee that requires me to think subjectively and not allow my religious beliefs to compromise me, that would be very difficult if I'm talking about foreign affairs and I'm still thinking about what they did to the Christian village 10 years ago. And I'm like, you know, so 10 years ago when y'all attacked that village in whatever, and they're like, but what does this have to do? We're trying to figure out what we need to do in Afghanistan, and you talking about the, I got a good feeling that you've been put on this board and you're going to use this platform to really spew all of your religious beliefs, your ideology, all of that stuff. And now I got to question some things. I got to wonder why you're on this committee. What information are you gathering? And could you be compromised? Not by necessarily an outside entity, but just by your own stinking thinking. That's all I'm saying. So maybe I'm off target. I don't know. But the Dems better reel her in because she is generating a lot of negative press. In fact, she snapped on a CNN reporter asking her about this. And she went off, and I said, whoa. She went off on a CNN reporter? That's big. Because usually, you know, they pet all of the Democratic people. Yeah, they're there. You say what you want. We won't bother you. So she went off on one of them. So Nancy is going to try to run a little interference for her. But I'm telling you, I got a gut feeling she's a problem. She's a problem. And it might not be politically correct to say it, but I got a feeling based on her attitude and some of the things she said that she's a problem. And the rest of them should be taking note. The one up in Michigan and Cortez, all of them, they should be going, ooh, she's about to get her butt in a lot of trouble. Maybe we should lay off all of the hard rhetoric that might make us seem like we are kind of anti-Israel or whatever. So that's just my thought. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check me out every Wednesday, 7:30 in Kevin's Corner. My Facebook page, on YouTube, I go live, and also on my Blog Talk Radio show. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. And check out Extreme Tees. The link is in the bottom of this video. Click on it. Check out the clothes. Put my name in the promo, Kevin. You get 20% discount. And find me on Facebook and on Twitter. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.